many times we gotta teach you this lesson, old man? I'm done. I'm done. I'm so fucking done with the apps and shit, with dating and everything. It's just like, let's get into it, right? So, for as long as I can remember, I've been on these dating apps like Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, what have you, right? So I think I started when I was in college, and it was like the time to be on those apps because like it wasn't as many bots and scams and all those other things. You actually got to meet people, right? And not even like reminiscing on like those old days, but just saying like how the nature of the apps have changed. And now we got to the point where instead of dating and meeting people and stuff like that, it got to a point where I'm not even seeing anyone. And it's just like it's just going through the motion of swiping, right? And I know what you're thinking. Maybe try this, maybe try that. You know, as far as it relates to the profile, maybe you're not posting something that makes you more outgoing. Maybe you're not saying something particularly in your bio. Maybe you have a picture of some fish. Like that's probably why. And instead of looking inward and feeding into that, because I've done the work. Believe me, I've done the work. I looked at my profile over the course of the years since the point I'm in college until the moment I am now. Damn, that's basically a decade almost spent on online dating. And I think about the relationships that came from that, right? I haven't had a relationship that hasn't been online for the most part, right? I mean, there was a couple that was in college, but like for the majority of like my adult life and things that came post-grad, it was always someone that I met online. Even I saw a statistic, it's currently in 2025, don't quote me on the source, it's probably, trust me bro, that 60% of relationships nowadays meet online, right? And then you also have the narratives of like people not being wanting to be approached in public, you know. There's the gender wars where like the men versus women. You have talks of hypergamy. You have talks of people not knowing their standards and all this other shit, right? And so it makes all the sense to do things online. We're in the digital world and everything. And it's a safe haven, right? Because at least when you're on a dating app, you know it's a mutual thing. A person is going there for to find a potential partner, essentially, for whatever type of relationship they have, right? But I recently saw something, and I do believe that from like the male perspective, and I know it's not even true for like all males, they're not really getting that much interactions between like the women that they do meet on those apps, and because of option fatigue. The option fatigue that women experience on those apps be just having an array of different options. So like regardless of what that woman may look like or what she present, she has a lot of options. And so I've even seen like with some girls having matches or likes within like the hundreds, if not thousands. So actually she swipes right or comments on something, she's gonna get a match with that person, right? And then when it gets to that point, she gets to has to leverage to have like different criterias, like I don't want this and I don't want that, and it's just not real, right? I know you hear it often, like social media isn't real, but like literally I feel like the dating thing is like, at least with these apps, is just so fucking superficial. We're trying to present the best versions of ourselves, right? And I am just showing me as is, and I think that's probably one of my biggest issues, and probably why I'm not getting successful with dating apps, because like I know some people, and I probably swiped on a dating app and I saw them, and they show pictures of them younger selves, not how they are currently, right? And it makes me think like, damn, they must be ashamed of themselves, right? And then here I am, I'm only have pictures that were taken within like the past month or so, and there's these people, and then like, I mean, there's pictures that I have that are a lot more outgoing and shit, but I figure like, hey, that's not relevant, or it's not showing of me currently, right? And of course with this fucking hairstyle that I have now, you can't really lie to people. Like, cause I have pictures where I don't have short hair, and then I have pictures where I have locks, and it just tells like the time period that I'm currently in. But yeah, it's just like a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of ways that you can cheat yourself out of being you. And I think it's the beauty about being online. It's like you can create this whole different persona, right, of who you are. But given everything that I've just said, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Like just the swiping and not getting a match. And even if I get a match, does that person respond? Are they real? And then from there, the dates aren't. It's just not. It's just not it. Even if we get to the dating phase, is it really like worth it, right? And not taking that personal, right? It's just like the nature of the game. I mentioned earlier, like option fatigue and things of that nature. But that's just like one thing, like one catalyst, one symptom to a much bigger problem. With that said, I'm in the progress, or at least of deleting all the apps off my phone, right? I had an insane amount of number, and I got it down to 3. So now I only have Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. And I know you're thinking, why do you just delete all of them and just be done with it all over once? I'm also realizing I don't want to set myself up for failure in the sense of having an unrealistic goal, in the sense that like, hey, I've been using this thing for so long to finally get to the point where I'm just saying like I'm gonna just go cold turkey. It's just very unrealistic. So I'm giving myself grace, giving myself time to slowly get off of them. So if I had 6 and I delete 3, I feel a lot better about myself. But I also want to get to a point where I'm meeting people in person, and I truly believe that the person that is for me is in person. When I reflect on those relationships that last a little bit longer, or that are memorable, these were people that I met in the real world, right? And I think that's what we also forget is prior to us existing, people didn't use these fucking apps. Like, no, they went and they met someone in person, right? And yeah, they probably was nervous, had fears of rejection, anxiety, and all these other things, but I think it's worthwhile, right? To, in the day and the time that we live in, despite everything that you hear, despite everything that you live online, about the narratives, like don't do this, don't do that, right? To meet someone in person, but then also do things within the scope of your own interest, right? I say do things within the scope of your own interest because like if you do something that's not really you walk away empty-handed, right? So like me personally, I would never go to the club. That's just not me, and I wouldn't go to the club for the purpose of meeting someone, because like if I came home empty-handed, I'll be pissing myself. I'd rather go to a concert, I'd rather go to a wrestling show, something that interests me, and if I meet someone along the way, good. If I don't meet someone along the way, okay, right? So yeah, that's gonna be my approach going forward, is to strive to meet more people in person, not necessarily for the romantic interest, but I need to be a more social person, right? So yeah, I am done with dating apps. I hope to check back in a month and they're just all fucking deleted, right? But just realizing that it's gonna take some time to just get off these apps because it's not beneficial. What are your thoughts on dating app? Please comment down below. Do you meet people in person? Have you met your partner in person, right? Most people that I know, they have met their partner in person, but the women that I know, they met their partners online. Interesting analysis. But without further ado, like, subscribe if you made it this far. You might as well. You heard me talk. You can hear me talk more in the future. And I think I'm gonna do a video about being an introvert, right? All right, that's all I have for you today. Take care. Bye.